No, that's Tony's.
Yeah. I thought that one was there.
I was used to setting up front.
What's up?
Ready.
I call this meeting to order. Say the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any public comments on agenda items only?
Easy one first. When are paving projects to begin? Since the liquid fuels is on there, I figured they're coming soon.
By the end of June, hopefully.
End of June, hopefully. And can you tell me where they're gonna start?
High Street.
High Street. And then, is the total East Warren Road Bridge, is the 97,000 on the agenda included in that total?
No, because it hasn't been voted on.
The outstanding amount not yet received or invoiced, what is that amount? So what is still yet to come in, invoiced, and so from various contractors, lawyers, inspectors,
I don't know.
trying to get an idea of how much this bridge actually is.
Don't know yet.
Don't know.
Okay. Do you know how much was spent consulting with other municipalities and outside firms about the engineering issues before December, when the supervisors were last invoiced by Knox Law?
Repeat that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, run that by me again.
How much was spent consulting with other municipalities and outside firms about the engineering issues before December, when the supervisors were last invoiced by Knox Law?
The only bill we would have got was from Knox Law.
There is no other
Okay.
municipality
No.
to invoice them.
And is the amount charged by Knox Law included in the expenses?
If there was a bill,
Yeah,
it's
it
in
was a bill.
And do we have payroll yet on the bridge?
No, I don't think so. That's a lot of work. She's working on
No.
it.
It's not done.
Do we know when?
No.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Bob?
Thank you.
Okay, I think my question was partially answered when Mandy asked the question. The invoices for payment for May of 2023. Okay, now, after talking to a few people and checking things out, when we get to the point where it says invoices and the amount for May 2003, the vote will be yay for Miss Behan, yay for Mr. Klein, and yay from Mr. Masco, with the exception of anything for the bridge. Now, and we've been doing this for months. This goes month after month after month for months. Now, my question is, prudent supervisors, whether it be one, two, or all of yous, we do know, and I know we can't discuss this, but through the grapevine, there is litigation currently going on in Erie, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $40,000 plus. And when the bills are to be paid, we'll take, for an example, and I think the gentleman's a very fine gentleman. I've talked to him many times, Mr. Beachy. He is currently, he's probably got some money in for May, because he was up there during May at $1,000 a day, plus his room and board and all
No,
this.
I'm stopping you right there, Bob. Owen Beachy does not get paid for room and board.
Okay, excuse me. Okay, but he's there for $1,000
Yeah, but I'm telling
a day.
everybody has that misconception. Owen Beachy does not get paid for food, for gas and lodging, for none of that.
Okay. But
So-
he's being paid $1,000 a day.
Right, correct.
So, my suggestion, or my thought on this, and which Mr. Alfieri, he'll probably be able to look into it and make a judgment on this, or, maybe check it out and report back at the next meeting. Why wouldn't prudent supervisors looking out for the taxpayers say, well, we've already got litigation in the amount of $40,000+. So any bills that are presented, like say he was up here 30 days during the month of May, and he'd hand a bill out for $30,000. Why wouldn't the prudent supervisor say, oh yes, we'll pay that, but we'll put it in an escrow account. That way we're actually paying you, so the township is not being at default for not paying their bills. And at the time that the litigation is determined, say Mr. Beachy wins the litigation. Well, fine, he'd get his $40,000 plus whatever was in escrow for him. Or if he loses, say there's $30,000 that's owed him for the month of May, the township residents would only have to come up with $10,000 because we'd already have $30,000 of it in escrow from the month of May. That would be the prudent way to do it.
Time out. Well, first of all, Owen Beachy has not turned in a bill since last September.
Okay,
Nor
but he will
has-
be.
Pardon?
He will be turning in a bill.
Nor has he received any payment since last September. So everybody is just, you're all mixed up. We know what we're doing.
I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing. I'm just saying the prudent people
You're saying
would
that
be
we
putting
paid
the
him.
money.
We have not paid him. For the month of May, if he worked 30 days, that's counting Saturdays, Sundays.
I just use that for an example, for easy logic for you to figure out between the difference between $30,000 and $40,000 would be $10,000. I just use that for easy logic for you.
Owen Beachy has not gotten paid, nor turned in a bill since last September.
Okay, so then my question is if a bill's turned in this month or next month, is it going to be put in escrow until that time as the crisis up in Erie is settled?
We don't know what crisis
I don't
he's
know of
talking
any
about. I don't know
litigation
what
Well, there's
crisis you're
litigation.
talking about.
Well, anytime we bring it up, they say you can't talk about it. Your attorney
Our
said,
lawyer told us not to talk about it. What's going on between Jason and Owen?
That's
It's not our
between
thing,
them.
but
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
doesn't
if
have
there's
anything to
anything
do
going
with
on.
us.
okay. Well, in addition, Mr. Beachy does owe money back in September or October. He was here and he was sitting right next to me, and it was a tune of like $40-some thousand, and he just nudged me. He said, I'll bring a check with me next month and pay it, which he never did.
That's not to the township. That $40,000 is not to the township.
He still owes us money for the pylons and the time that Bob's.
That's
been
not
over
what he's
there. He
talking
still
about.
owes- I know
Well,
what he's
yeah,
talking
but that
about.
should be
He still owes
included.
us
That's
that
money
we haven't
owed,
received
you know?
as far as the soup.
And it's
As far
not
as the township.
over yet.
Well, I know. So what I'm saying is the money going to be put in an escrow account?
No.
So the taxpayers
No.
are not, well, now you can't make that decision by yourself, Larry. So Mr.
Well, why
Klein
would it
and
be
Mr.
put into an
Masco.
escrow account, Bob?
Well, because it's an account that's set aside, and the money's set aside, so he's not getting screwed out of the money, and interest is being paid to him.
Does anybody
Correct,
know
Mr.
approximately how
Alfieri?
much you owe him? I mean, you must know how many days he's been there, right? Or no?
He has not turned in a bill.
Well, okay, so
September.
if I went from September till now, you guys should have some kind of an estimate of how much you owe him, if it was $1 million or 10 million or 40,000. I'm just saying, you have no idea how much it is for 9 months worth of work.
Wait, can I speak?
Well, we were shut down for winter.
Yeah, I have received invoices. Our attorney advised the board to not to pay. So let me
I just
finish.
need a little clarification.
Let me finish. Before you interrupt me, and I was gonna answer. They're approximately $50,000. The board is scheduled to have a conference call with him to figure out what to do. The attorney was waiting for the bridge to be completed. We are at that point.
I need clarification on that one. You said he hasn't sent in any invoices,
He submitted, not paid.
but that
She
wasn't
said
what
she
was
hasn't got
said.
anything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she missed.
This was way back. This was way back in September.
You got one for
They stopped-
$50,000 you're
No,
sitting on?
no, total, and that's a guess. I'm thinking this invoice, small ones, there's a $1,200 for the bidding process. Remember the bidding of the, I can't think of it. But anyway, approximately $50,000.
Owed right now for everything?
From September, October, nothing in November, didn't work, started back up, May,
April.
yes,
April,
a little bit of April, not much. So approximately 50. Nothing has been paid. They need to have a meeting with their attorney and work things out. That's where we're at. They're at. Not we, they are at. Okay?
So he has received no money.
No, he has not received any payments. Since August. August was the last time.
That was the, what I was going to
That was it. That's all in here. That is all in here. That figure that you see there is right up to today. Any bills received after today go next month. And that is the 97,000. That's next month. Okay, because I just got that, 30 days to pay. They have to approve.
Okay, so I got a question.
So no bills are paid. That would be a question that if they're gonna be asked, is money payments, what did he owe, what do you owe? That's gonna be discussed at your meeting. You're gonna have an executive session.
So I just have one more follow-up on that then. These invoices for approval, is the 97,000 in this?
In this figure right here,
No, in the invoices for approval. So, yeah, I guess it would be in this total somewhere, wherever the heck the total is, this 218,000. Is this 97 for the shingle decker? Is that invoice in here? They haven't
I
made the
have no
motion
idea
yet.
what you have there.
It's the same as you, only I have it bigger because I'm blind.
No, that's
No,
for bills that
That's
we've
on the
already
bill.
paid.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, 97,000
We have
is
to
not in there.
approve the 97,000 today.
Yeah, they have to
That'll be
approve
next
it.
month.
Just checking.
Yes, it's not in there.
The blacktop's been approved. Blacktop's been approved for this month. Bill paying, because we signed for that, for the bridge.
Certain bills.
Yeah,
Certain
for the
bills
bridge.
made the cutoff. I cut off bills a week prior to the
Yeah,
meeting.
so there's blacktop.
So we're
and then
just
there's
pennies.
the bridge.
Yes.
So, yeah,
A week prior.
yeah, so there's
Maybe
blacktop
doing
in here.
checks the same day.
Andy, there's blacktop in there.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, a little bit.
I got a question.
Can you state your name so we know who you are?
Randy Hollowell. Okay. Larry Sue said that you were unaware of any invoices that have been sent since like last September. Okay. Then she says that she's got $50,000 worth of invoices, but you guys were advised not to pay them. So if you were advised not to pay them, how do you not know that there were $50,000 worth of invoices?
Because we were told before that any of them invoices come in
Yeah,
not to
I
pay.
mean, there's a lot going on here,
We were
honey.
told way back in
There's a
September.
lot.
Well, we don't know.
Well, yeah, you didn't say that. You
I'm not
didn't give us a
being
time
rude.
frame
I'm just
when
saying,
they were set. You were told
It's
that.
9 months ago. You know what I mean?
I just know Owen Beachy has not gotten
They have,
paid
that's
since
what
September.
I interpreted it, what
All I
was
can
paid,
say, I know
not
that
what's
for a
sitting
fact.
in a folder. You know what I mean? If they don't, if it's not being paid, I'm not gonna bring it out and say, oh, I'm still holding this. You know, they haven't even discussed that.
But if everything was kosher, we wouldn't have a Knox law firm, we wouldn't be holding money from him, and if everything was running the way it should be, everything would be, you know, on an even keel, and it's not. So things are not right with that bridge. Yes, it is true. We wouldn't
Anybody
pay
got
Knox law
anything
firm.
else besides the
Excellent.
bridge? No one? All right, request a motion to approve the minutes from the regular monthly meeting held on Monday, May 8th, and the special meeting held on Wednesday, May 31st, as written and recorded. Could I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Your vote, Steve?
Aye.
And aye for me. Request a motion to accept invoices totaling $218,081.53 for May 2023.
I'll make it.
All right.
Everything but the blacktop.
Your vote then, Steve?
Aye.
The next monthly meeting of the Board of Supervisors will be held on Monday, July 10th, 2023 at 7 p.m. The Township Office, Road Department, and Garbage Department will be closed on Tuesday, July 4th for the holiday. Excuse me. The East Warren Road Bridge opening will be held on Wednesday, June 14th at 2:30 p.m. All are welcome to attend. Do we have anything from the zoning officer?
Yeah, zoning officer report. That time period 5/1 to 5/31, we issued 8 zoning permits. We had 3 calls, 1 violation, 1 citation that was issued for a water runoff, unresolved. We thought it was taken care of, and then I guess they decided not to do it.
Was a citation for the violation?
Citation for the violation. The letter was issued last year. We got into fall. The weather started getting bad. We gave them time to get it fixed in the spring. In the spring, they decided they weren't going to do it, I guess. Now I'm not answering my calls. So send them a citation to the magistrate's office. It takes about 20 days to get there, so we had to motivate them to get it done. Code enforcement is 2 sale inspections, 2 rental inspections, 8 calls, and 2 violations which are unresolved, both livestock and R2 zone, specifically cows. So I encourage residents to call the township before they go out and buy livestock, because you just can't take it back to the store when you find out you can't have it. So neighbors don't like you having cows in your front yard, so we need to check. There's only 2 places in the township that you're not allowed to have cows, and both these people live in one of those 2 places, so. And that's it for code and zoning.
Is there anything for the zoning hearing board?
No.
Planning commission?
No.
The road department? They were busy unplugging a sewer, and they ran the sewer jet and camera line for the Dollar General store. They worked on the bridge. They ran the sewer jet and camera sewer line on Route 219. They swept roads. They put in cold patch. They cleaned ditch and installed drainage pipe on Nelson Avenue. Ran sewer jet and camera line Wagner Avenue. Sewer repair on Clubview. They did truck maintenance, cut brush, cut up a tree in Lower Songbird Road, replaced road signs and address signs. They helped out on PA1 calls. They helped out in the garbage department, and they hosed off the bridges. Police department.
For May 2023, officers handled 195 calls for service, investigated 4 motor vehicle crashes, initiated 8 criminal investigations, and patrolled 4,850 miles. Chief Shipman put this together with the 4th of July approaching. Bradford Township Police would like to remind residents of the following rules regarding the purchase and use of fireworks. PA consumers can purchase and use Class C or consumer-grade fireworks such as firecrackers, Roman candles, bottle rockets, and similar fireworks that contain a maximum of 50 milligrams of explosive material. Number 2, anyone over the age of 18 years can purchase, possess, and use consumer fireworks. Consumer fireworks do not include ground and handheld sparkling devices, novelties, and toy caps. Number 3, fireworks cannot be ignited or discharged on public or private property without express permission of the property owner, and cannot be directed at another person, cannot be discharged from or directed at a building or vehicle. Cannot be discharged within 150 feet of a building or vehicle, regardless if the building or vehicle is owned by the user of the consumer fireworks. cannot be discharged while the person is under the influence of alcohol, a controlled substance, or any other drug. The following authorities may take, remove, or cause to be removed all stocks of consumer or display fireworks sold, used, stored, or held in violation of this law. PSP Act 120, certified municipal police officers, a sheriff or sheriff's deputy. That'll do it.
I have a question, Rob. Is there a time limit at night to how late you can shoot fireworks off?
Well, we kind of go outside the ordinance a little bit for the 4th of July weekend, but it's kind of complaint driven. We don't want people shooting them off at 1 o'clock in the morning. So we do try to get a little bit of leniency, 10, 11 o'clock at night. We know it runs further than that. So for the fireworks holiday, we do give a little bit more time for people to do it, as long as we're not getting calls and complaints on it.
Because I know there's some that shoot them pretty late, and they start a week or two early and a week or two after.
What is the ordinance time?
10 p.m.
10 p.m.?
Request a motion to submit the application for the 2023 McKean County liquid fuel allocation to the county commissioners for the amount of $9,104.70 to be used towards the 2023 roads and paving projects. The total combined funds from 2022 and 2023 of county liquid fuel is $17,637.46 for paving projects. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make it.
Your vote, Steve?
Aye.
Aye for me. Request a motion to accept the quote submitted by William Kiesler for the 2023 mowing of the township roads in the amount of $2,100.
I'll make it.
Steve or not?
Well, no, because we keep doing this every year, and for $2,100, that's one time to mow the township, and we could have bought, I don't know how many flail mowers for our machine we have already. Other townships have mowing machines, and they can get their mowing done, but we keep continuing to pay Kiesler, which I have nothing against him, he's a nice guy and everything, but it's just crazy that we're paying that kind of money out there, one-time mowing, when we have a machine to do this with. And there's many rainy days and stuff that we could do this and get it done, so, no, I might, no.
I'll second the motion. Your vote's a no, Steve?
No.
Larissa?
Yes.
Request a motion to accept the quote submitted by the following contractors for repair/replacement of guide rails on Crooker House Road Box Culvert Bridge. We only received one quote. Green Acres did not send anything in, so can I have a motion to accept Keystone's quote?
I'll make it.
Stephen, yes or no?
Yes, but I'm gonna say one thing is these quotes, I am not happy with quotes on anything. I don't care what we do. It should be bid out on anything what we do and to get the best price. I mean, quotes are, anybody can do anything on a quote. But it's,
If it's below 8,000, we
I know what it is, but I'm telling you.
pretty much the
when it
same
comes to
thing.
money,
Quote's the same thing, pretty much.
that one you can change it, so.
Okay, you,
Yes, we're okay.
you seconded
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
And your vote,
Aye.
yes?
Aye.
Aye for me. Request a motion to accept a letter of retirement from Darrell Hines, garbage crew laborer, effective June 2nd, 2023.
I'll make it.
Second, that's me.
I'll second. Great guy. We were glad we had him as long as we did. I can't say enough about Darrell. He was always here and very, very nice fellow, him and his wife both, and he's gonna be missed, so,
You were yes then?
yes, I'm.
Yes.
Yes for me. Request a motion to amend the hiring position for Zachary Bartleball from seasonal worker to part-time laborer for all departments, effective 6/12/2023. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make it.
You second that, Steve?
Yes.
Your vote?
Aye.
Aye for me. Request a motion to approve pay request number 1, final payment in the amount of $97,000 for Shingle Deckers Welding Inc. for the awarded concrete deck bid contract that was completed on the East Warren Road Bridge project. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make it.
And you're not gonna, so I'll make the second. You a no, Steve?
No.
Larry
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
I guess for me. Request a motion to advertise by notice in the local newspaper to sell the 2000 Komatsu SME loader on municipal bid website. The winning bid will be announced at the July meeting. Kind of a motion for that.
I'll make it.
Second.
Your vote, Steve?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye for me. Quotes were obtained from Steve Longo Welding and Fabrication for repairs to garbage truck BT-20 as follows. Quote number one, repair old subframe, bottom rails of bed, $2,500. Repair and paint body on existing side, $1,600. Total quote was $4,100. Quote number two, repair old subframe, bottom rails of bed, $2,500. New mortise or champion flatbed, $4,900 to $5,200. Total quote, $7,700. Or the third option, the third quote is new bed, rebuild sides, new subframe, hoist and pump, installed on a new truck. Quote, $14,500. Request a motion to accept which quote? You guys thinking?
I see number one.
So, you give it
One,
one?
for now, until we can decide.
The amount of $4,100. So you want to make a motion there, so
I'll make it.
you second, Steve?
Second.
Yes, Steve?
Yes.
Larry Sue?
Yes.
Yes. Request a motion from the board to approve the Soldo plans for Ronald and Deborah Scott to combine 2 lot parcels into one deed property description. Lot number 1 and lot number 2 will be tax parcel number 17-010-207. No new development for either lot. These plans were reviewed and recommended by the Planning Commission at their meeting held on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll second it.
Your vote, Steve?
Aye.
Mercy? Aye for you. Public participation. Bob?
Okay, my first thing, and I forgot all about it until we were on the second item on page 2, the Keystone Guide Rails. Back on May 31st, when they got the contract for the Eastbourne Road Bridge for the guard rails, there was a stipulation on there that they were to have that completed by the 15th of June. And today's already the 11th, and there's been no movement.
They'll be here tomorrow.
We'll be here at 1 tomorrow.
Okay,
With, I think they're doing both of them, right? Because they're the only bid, so.
okay. Now, and that was just off the spur. These next 2 things I've given a lot of thought to. Any of the people here in the, at the meeting wouldn't know this if they were Democrat. But I was totally astounded when I went to the polls for the primary election day. While I was there, I was going down through to make my selections, and I noticed a name popped up there. It said for Township Auditor, and it listed Thomas Gibbiser. Okay, so that seemed very strange to me because I used to be one of the auditors, and there were 3 of them, myself, Mr. Pettinato, and there was a gentleman up Shep Run Road that were appointed, and we'd come in once a year and approve like the mileage, genre, and 2 or 3 other things, and we'd get a $10 stipend for it, and that'd be it. We would be done. So I was wondering what, consummated this idea of putting an auditor's position on the election ballot. So I contacted the Board of Elections, and they simply told me that that was put on the ballot as directed by the township supervisors. So the one thing that I did notice, that during the whole election process, I never saw a sign for this, anybody running for this position. No one would have a clue, even the Democrats in the township wouldn't have known about this unless you were a Republican and when you went to vote. And there was a name there. So my questions to this are, number one, why was the position, not really publicized, that it was available? And my second question is, wouldn't this be a conflict of interest, seeing that Mr. Gibbeser's wife is the secretary and she takes care of the checks and everything for Bradford Township?
He was the auditor before, right?
Bob, you were an auditor, you were appointed. You
Right.
gave the auditor's position up to do what?
To
What do
go
you
for the
want
zoning
now?
and hearing board. But there were
Because,
three
yes,
of us. And there
That's
was,
an elected position, okay? The zoning hearing board is its own board. You have authority on there, so you can't be in an elected position and on an authority board. That position is up every 2 years. An auditor's position is open up. Did you know that?
no.
Well, then why don't you research?
Because we didn't approve
Why don't you
that
do
for
some
all, isn't it?
research?
You gotta have auditors.
I mean, it is up every 2 years. There is an auditor's position. There's a 6-year, a 4-year, and a 2-year. And those positions go down every year. Every 2 years, the person that was a 6 moves to 4. The 4 goes to a 2. 2 gets done. The positions are now open. We had Jeff, who resigned 2 months ago. Does anybody remember? Jeff Carson. Thank you.
Okay,
And he was up there. We had to appoint.
okay.
So there you go.
And we did not, as supervisors,
No,
make
they
that
have
up.
nothing
That's
to
a
do with
law
it.
saying you have to have
It's
an
on the
elected
ballot
auditor.
every 2 years. You will always see an auditor's position. Always.
So the
Every 2
bigger
years.
question, I
Because-
think,
It's
here
always on.
is there a conflict
No.
of interest?
He doesn't look at my work. We have auditors. They were just in for 2 days.
He audits what you can.
No,
No.
he does
No.
not.
Or he
Well, she
reviews.
doesn't
He
know.
does
They
not.
don't. We're just answering.
I know.
Excuse me,
but I'm
You're
saying-
rude. God, you guys are rude.
No, we're not rude. You
No,
guys
it's
ask some
part of the
questions.
contract.
Well, the way you're
It's
answering,
not
can't you just give her, she doesn't know. If she asks a question, just answer it.
I'm sorry, Susan, but it's not conflict. It's a question
They don't.
that doesn't
They do
need to be
not.
so curt in your response.
Bob is an auditor.
So-
Ask Bob what he
My
audited.
Yeah,
question
we came in once a year,
Uh,
about
again,
15, 20 minutes.
is, from what I understand, she hands them a bunch of paper that they need to go through and initial, that they have received it, they have looked at it, before it goes to Haynes or whoever
No.
else.
No. No, it does not. I know. Wow. Thank you.
So-
You guys are way off of what you're doing.
Oh my God.
There would be
What
nothing
are they
illegal with me being
auditing
a supervisor.
They
A conflict
do-
of
they
interest
do
is
not-
not
There
illegal.
either. There's no
No.
law against it.
No, it
It
isn't.
doesn't have to be a
So
conflict
I
of
could be a
interest.
township supervisor and
If it
do
was a
that
conflict,
job.
there'd
Did
be
you
a
know
law.
that, people?
Yes, that's not the question. The question is when are they auditing?
You guys need,
So,
really need to
everyone,
get on your.
let's calm down.
Really.
Can anybody answer what an auditor does?
I
What's the
have
Go
question?
ahead, please do, Thomas, tell them.
We
Thomas,
vote
what's
on
your
3
job?
subjects: a bond issue, what the supervisors will make if they do anything above their duties as a supervisor. They get paid $2,500 a year as supervisor. If they come in and plow, sweep the streets or whatever, we set the rate for what they can make. And then we vote on the mileage, what they can receive in reimbursement in mileage set by the federal government, 65 cents a mile.
Like what Mike
We vote
Sawyer
on
gets.
3 subjects, that's it. We look at no paperwork, we look
budget,
at no books,
money, no-
nothing. If you look at the Class 2 Township Code book, it states right in there that the Board of Supervisors, any Class 2 township, any township has the right to hire an outside firm to do audit their books, which is a good thing because it takes this garbage politics out of it that goes on here.
This is
And
what I'm
they-
trying to get to. Thank you for answering me.
Was I finished? You talk about being rude, you folks. My God, I've seen so much rudeness in the last 5 years here. It makes my head want to explode. I mean, this is not how these meetings are supposed to be conducted. You're supposed to bring humility and respect to this to these township meetings.
Thank you.
It just isn't here.
Thank you.
Thanks for explaining that.
Both
You guys
sides.
get that now? That he does nothing with her work whatsoever, and it's not a conflict of interest.
No.
And if you remember, every December, it will come up again this year, they motion and approve to, and it's advertised for 30 days. They do it in November, it's advertised in December, and they motion to approve to advertise that they will appoint an outside firm. Come January, at the January meeting, they will motion and approve that again. It's the same thing every year. And I'm not trying to be rude, but it's the same thing every year. From beginning of January to the end of December. It's repetitious of basically the same thing that goes on, except for you're adding different work. That's all.
Susan,
Why you
And
don't-
Bob, for you to bring that up, you were appointed, but you gave it up, and we asked you that.
but see, I was never at the
But- and
point
the-
where I made 6 years.
But
I never
last
had
2
to go on
years
the
ago,
election.
there was an auditor's position up.
Okay.
Okay, there was an auditor's position. This year, there's two, because we had two vacancies. They knew it's the same thing. They actually get a letter, hey, your position's up, you're done. It's
Nope.
their choice to sign up again.
Nobody's gonna spend $200 on signs saying.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that.
For $10.
For $10, yeah, you could write names in.
And it's hard to get somebody
One person
to
gets
And
use
that's
all
usually
the
how
time.
someone gets in, is through a writing or
Yeah.
appointed.
If nobody writes in, like Foster
It's not
Township,
power. It's not
they don't have
power.
any auditors. Every time all three positions are up, they get nobody, not even one vote. You only need one vote. Only one vote just to get on there. They have none. Every year they have to appoint. And I can tell you this, there's been a time where we had none, in another prior township, you can get fined. You have to fill those positions. You have to.
Anybody else have anything?
I got one more thing.
Okay, make it quick.
Okay, and this I'll refer to Mandy. I wanna, and I spoke to her 2 days after it appeared in the paper. I want a correction made or a retraction. I was not even aware that this had happened, but Mr. Behan saw me when I was on my walk, and he said to me, "What were you down at the township complaining about at the last meeting?" And that was on May 31st. And I said, "What do you mean? What was I complaining about?" And he said, "About Foster Township employees working in Bradford Township." And I said, "Frank," I said, "I used that as an example." I said, "What I suggested, of which Mrs. Behan and Mr. Masco both answered me, I said the township should have its own paving machinery, because like this was nice. It was only 2 or 3 days on each side of the bridge, no problem. What are they going to do this summer when they have to do High Street and it's 6 or 7 weeks? Do you think Foster Township's going to say, well, we're going to free up 3 or 5 guys and we're going to put the machinery out there? I don't think that's going to happen. And the way it was written in the paper, it made like I was complaining, because I went and after I talked to Mr. Behan, I went and I got a copy of the paper. And I read it, and it made it look like I was tattling on the Foster Township employees. I just noted that they were there working, and then it was brought up that there was only like 3 days or whatever, which is fine. Hey, if they want to come out and they want to work on High Street, and they want to be there 6 or 7 weeks, and township residents don't care, I don't care either. That's, that's more for us. But, I just want that resolved there.
Well, that's between you and her.
Well, then, no, and I told her that. I called, after I talked to Mr. Behan, I called her up, and I read the paper, and I said, hey, this is out of context. I wasn't tattling on the people. I was just using that as a comparison.
Dave, you got something?
Yeah, just a couple things, Mark. As far as out at the Crooker House in West Corden Street, where the gas company put the lines in out there, across Crooker House, I mean, that, I don't know if it's their responsibility or if it's a
They
township.
tore it up, it's their responsibility.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if you guys could follow up on that, because it's bad where they cross Crooker House.
How long ago did they dig across it?
It's been a couple months now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and as long as you're right on Crooker,
Then, or he could call and complain, that's probably gonna do more.
Yeah.
well, I would think it coming from the township supervisors, it'd be probably.
They'd have a lot more clout if we called it in.
Yeah.
Steve, why don't you do that? for
I'll do
us?
that.
Okay, you do
I'll do
that.
that.
You're the man.
Thanks, Steve.
And as long as we're looking at that out there, just down from that between there and the bridge. It could use some cold patch or some major holes out there, if the guys could go out there and fill that in a little bit.
They're working on them, there are a lot of places, but
But it's been,
Where was that at?
right before the Langmaid Bridge, is that
well,
what you
it's
said?
between the bridge on on Crooker House and, West
One at
Fourth
South.
Street.
Oh, between the
There's a
bridge.
shaded area in there that's been bad for years. And just one other one would be, I think I brought it up at one of the other meetings, coming out from Langmaid on the West Washington Street, looking west, there's some, and I know it's not the township's responsibility, but there are some trees, some evergreens or whatever, that's obstructing the view looking west.
Yeah, that's bad.
Robbie, is that private property?
It is. I've looked at it. I don't see where it's an issue.
Okay.
But
I don't
It
know.
is.
But it's private property.
that was, because we talked about it probably 3 or 4 months ago. It is. I'll check it again.
There's some guys, they come flying, again, they're not doing the speed limit, but when you're pulling out there, you gotta get up. And then if there's a car or something parked in front of the church there,
Right, who owns that property? Do we know? Is
It's
it
a
the
private
church?
individual.
it's not the church, it's not
No,
the church.
So it's who lives
It's the
beside
one
the church?
past that, west of that.
Yeah.
There's a pine tree or something that's, a couple of branches are sticking out, so.
I think the last name's Dirk. I'll talk to him.
All right, thank
We'll
you.
readdress it.
Anybody else got anything?
I just want to do my thank yous for us. We want to thank everyone that has helped with the bridge that was unpaid. First of all, the Foster Township employees, they helped with the encroachments. I want to thank them. We want to thank them. For the water department, who gave us pumps early on, and 2 came out and jackhammered for us. Want to thank the water department for that. For the 4 residents and landowners who we used their property, Tina and Mike Clauser, Bob Burrell, Henderson LLC, and the, there's no
The
problem.
flood
Yeah,
authority.
the flood control. Want to thank them. And who am I missing? Oh, the Minix and Hull Electric for letting us use their property for the staging area, where we kept all of our equipment, all of our materials, stone, rock, gravel, blocks, everything. I think I got everybody. I think. No, National Fuel, they came out and moved a gas line for us, and Penelec installed a new pole when they moved the lines. And also, Bob and Michelle Chapman for letting us dump concrete and fill up in their pits down at the end of High Street. Now I think I got everybody. So, great thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yes, immensely, because it wouldn't be able to have happened without all of them, so.
Did you say unpaid?
Right, yeah. These people did it out of the kindness of their heart.
Okay, wait, did we pay the Foster Township employees?
No, but we'll return it as far as,
Right.
they'll do sooner or later, we'll help them.
And we had a contract with Hull Electric, didn't we?
Well, just,
To
just a
put
thing
our stuff
saying
there.
that we would put their property back to the way that it was. No payment.
Okay,
All right, motion to adjourn.
Well, do it, one more thing, we have the final inspection from the state.
It's Wednesday.
they're
That's when
inspecting
they
on
will
Wednesday?
come inspect it on Wednesday.
Yep.
I wanted to know if we have that yet. We don't have that yet, so.
No,
Okay.
put the guide rails in tomorrow, inspect it on Wednesday.
Is it, then it'll be open right after that?
2:00,
Wednesday at 2:30,
2:30.
What time is the inspection?
when they get here. They didn't give me a time.
Oh, okay.
I would imagine in the morning.
If not, are you gonna still open if they don't come until later?
No. Right?
Good.
I mean,
Wait for
we don't
them.
wanna
They're
open it
coming,
until
they're
it's
coming.
inspected.
Our last meeting that you had, just for clarification, you said you would open it and then you had 60 days for inspection.
That's what
We
the
do,
law says.
but we're not opening it without it being inspected. By law, we could open it. And then we have 60 days for it to be inspected.
Mm-hmm.
We're choosing not to do that.
So you changed your mind?
No, that's what she said
never,
the other time.
Never, we never said that.
She said by law, we could do it.
We could do
but
it,
didn't say
But we
would.
choose not to.
Okay.
It will be inspected before anybody goes over it.
Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Second.
All right.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Appreciate it.